Okay. Hello, everyone. So tonight we are going to record our discussion session, the second discussion session for our group, for our LX, which is Poetic Society Group 38. Okay. So before we started with our agenda tonight, let me just reintroduce ourselves briefly. So start with me first. My name is Nadhirah and my matrix number is 207975. Okay, so maybe we can next Yong Cheng.
Hey, my name is Yong Cheng and my matrix number is 206271.
Saiyyidah Dayana next.
Hi, my name is Saiyyidah Dayana Batrisya, which is Malaysia, and my matrix number is 208215.
Marvin.
Hello everyone, my name is Marvin Wong and my metric number is 207381.
Pavita.
Hi, my name is Pavita and my metric number is 207115.
And Shiau Jee.
Hi everyone, my name is Loh Shiau Jee. My metric number is 206491.
Okay, I think that's all for the introduction session. So we are going to continue with our main agenda for tonight, which is to recite a poem based on one of our topic we have discussed before. So tonight's poem is based on the topic global warming. Okay, so before I recite the poem with my teammates, which are Marvin Wong and also Pavita, the title of the poem we are going to recite tonight is named 13 Ways of Looking at a Glacier, which is written by Craig Santos Perez. Okay, it has 13 stanzas, so we are going to divide it evenly, and it was published in the year 2016. Okay. So I'm going to recite the first 5 stanzas. Okay. I'll start now. Among starving polar bears, the only moving thing was the edge of a glacier. We are of one ecology, like a planet in which there are 200,000 glaciers. I'm so sorry for the glitch. Okay. The glacier absorb greenhouse gases. We are a large part of the biosphere. Humans and animals are kin. Humans and animals and glaciers are kin. We do not know which to fear more, the terror of change or the terror of uncertainty. The glacier calving or just after.
Icebergs fill the vast ocean with titanic wax. The mass of the glacier disappears to and fro. The thread, hidden in the crevasse, an unavoidable cause. Oh, vulnerable humans, why do you engineer seawalls? Do you not see how the glacier already floods the streets of the cities around you? I know king tides and lurid inescapable storms, but I know too that the glacier is involved in what I know. Next, we will start by Pavita.
Pavita.
At the rumble of a glacier, losing its equilibrium, every tourist in the new Arctic chased ice quickly.
The next stanza.
They explored the poles for offshore drilling. Once we blocked them in that, we understood the risk of an oil spill for a glacier. The sea is rising. The glacier must be retreating. It was summer all winter. It was melting, and it was going to melt. The glacier fits in our warm hands.
So that's all for our poem recitation for tonight. Next, we are going to analyze it. So first, I'm just going to share with you all my analysis for the first stanzas, like the first four stanzas. So the first stanza, they are saying about the polar bears and how the only moving thing in the Antarctic where the polar bears live was the edge of a glacier. So in this stanza, we already know how it is very obviously stated that this poem will be explaining or expressing about global warming issue. So next, we are of one ecology like a planet in which there are 200,000 of glaciers. Okay, so like we are all in this planet and we are all like involved and also will be facing the consequences of what will happen next if this keep on happening. The glacier absorb greenhouse gases, which are a large part of the biosphere. It's basically like the consequences and the the consequences of the global warming still. Humans and animals are kin. Humans and animals and glaciers are kin, like how we are all very closely related to each other and how we are all going to face the same consequences and share all the problems from this issue. We do not know which to feel more, the terror of change or the terror of uncertainty, the glacier calving or just after. Like what emotions we are having, like the conflict, maybe, based on what I have understood. The conflicts of our fear for our future. Yeah, I think that's all from me. So any
I
other
think
analysis?
we can all of us just analyze the first five stanzas first, so we get opinions from everyone, and then we just carry on to the next five and then next three. I think this can work, sir. Okay, so I start first. The first stanza, among starving polar bears, I think the writer used starvings already show that the animals in the Arctic is in vulnerable state. So they are like very sad and because of the problems. Okay, the only moving thing was the edge of a glacier. It used a very creative ways to describe the melting of glacier because he used the only moving thing. We can see the glacier when it melts, it moves. So it is I think, very creative way to instead of obviously saying that the melting of glacier. And then the second stanza is say we are of one ecology like a planet in which there are 200,000 glaciers, which means that we are all one body. No matter the glacier, the human, the animal, we are of one because we are in one planet. So we have to take care of each other. Yeah. And then the third one, the glacier absorb greenhouse gases. This one also just like the second stanzas is just an elaborations. And then it also mentioned one of the causes of the melting of glacier, which is the greenhouse gases. I think this is good. And then the fourth stanzas, it says is further explain that we are all one because we are all kin, and then which mean the kin is mean by relative, right? So we are also related to each other. And then the fifth stanzas, we do not know which to fear more, the terror of change or the terror of uncertainty, the glacier calving or just after, because we doesn't know when will the glacier melt overallly. right? So we are terrified. We are just scared of this happens after that. Yeah, this is my view.
So for the next stanzas, Marvin, maybe you can share your analysis what the stanzas you have read. Cited.
Alright, everyone. In stanza 12, it says, "The sea is rising, the glacier must be retreating." It conveys us that due, the cause of the sea rising is due to the melting of the glacier. So, due to this issue, many of the people nowadays need to notice about how we need to take care about the marine lives so that they can survive well for the future. The glacier melting is also caused by some illegal activities done by the humans. For example, the factories nowadays, they release a lot of greenhouse gases, which cause the temperature of the surroundings rise. It does not only harm the human lives, but also the lives of many living organisms, such as mammals or any other else. In the last stanza, it was summer or winter. It was melting, and it was going to melt. The glacier fits in our warm hands. It tells me about the climate is changing. Is changing obviously. Every leaders and politicians of every country must take note that the climate change is the most fundamental topic to discuss the ways to resolve all these negative problems that will harm the future of the human. This is my point of view.
So anyone from the audience before want to share the analysis of yours for the same stanzas Marvin has recited before?
I think we start from the 6th and then until the 10th, I think. Maybe we can, Sai and Loh and Pavita, you have any analysis you want to make on it?
Actually, I want to say something. So for the stanza 6, which the stanza 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. The oh vulnerable humans, why do you engineer sea walls? Do you not see how the glaciers already flood the streets of the cities around you? So the poet is trying to aware that humans, why not we start to do something, like to fix technology things to save our cities from getting flooded by the sea or the wave or the tsunamis that's going to happen because of the rise of the sea levels. And then you see at the third line, say, do you not see how the glacier already flood the streets of the cities around you? So the poet is trying to give awareness to us humans, like to make advanced technology, to create like a sea walls between, like to block the wave or the tsunamis from flooding our country. And then the 7, I know king's tide and lurid inescapable storms, but I know too that the glacier is involved in what I know. For this one, I'm not sure about what is king's tides, but I think the poet is trying to say that the global warming has caused many others bad effects to our humans' life. Maybe because of the forming of the storm is caused by the melting of the glaciers that cause the rise of the sea levels. Okay, this one I don't know. Okay, then you can go to the stanza 8. It says, when the glacier terminus broke, it marked the beginnings of one of the many waves. It's like the poet is trying to tell us that when one of the glaciers, like the big glaciers, it broke and fall down to the sea, it is the beginning, so it will create many more other waves that will create a much higher tsunamis for us. And then for the number 9 stanza, at the rumble of a glacier, losing its equilibrium, every tourist in the new Athi chased eyes quickly. So this one, I think the poet is trying to tell us, when looking at the glaciers who lost its positions, like falling to the sea, every tourist who go to the Athi, they don't realize it. They think that's funny. They take picture of it. And then for the number 10, the stanza number 10, they explore the posts for offshore drillings. Once we blocked them, in that we understood the risk of an oil spill for glacier. Okay, the poet is trying to say that our oil drillings activities may hurt the glaciers. So when there is an oil spill forming, I think the creatures living around them will be having a very bad time. Okay, this is like what I understood lah. And then for the 11th stanza, the sea is rising, the glacier must be retreating. So it says that because of the falling of the glaciers that come down to the sea, so the sea level is going to rise. And for the last stanza, it was summer or winter, it was melting and it was going to melt. The glacier fits in our warm hands. I think that it says that because the winter has become not cold, because it said it was summer or winter. So when it's winter seasons, it becomes summer, means there's a climate change already. So you can see that they say the glaciers fit in our warm hand. The glacier is a very cold iceberg for us. We can't actually touch it because it's very cold. But now it says it can fit on our warm hands. So I assume that because of the rise of the temperature, we are going to have a very bad end, maybe an end to humanities. So that's all for my understanding.
Okay. So, anyone, Pavita or Sai, want to share your point of view regarding the poems?
I think for the 11 stanza, they explore the 11 or 10, I don't know, but they explore the pools of offshore drilling. Once we blocked them, in that we understood the risk of an oil spill for a glacier. I think that the poet want to say that we humans explore the pools for offshore drillings. We can say that they want to gain the oil that we can sell it for money, but then it gives us the risk of oil spill everywhere, and it shows that money can make, for the sake of money, we human we sacrifice our own nature. I think that's from my point of view.
Okay. That makes sense. And Pavita, any thoughts?
Yeah, can I give my points to oral of the poem?
Yes.
Can. Welcome.
Okay, from the poem in my view. Okay. Due to the global warming and the most of the population, the heat of the planets increase. When the heat of the planet increased, then the glaciers start to melt down, and the most of human does not realize that the melt of the glacier will make the increase of the water level. If the water levels increase, then there will be most of the country and most of the places will be sank in the seas. It's our responsibility. In my view, I think as we are human, we have to take care of the planet. and it's our responsibility too. From the stanza 1, I think if the glacier is start to melt, where will be the polar bears will go? Did they will get the shelters? And
So
the
that they're starving
yeah, they will starving.
because don't have shelter.
We have to think about that also, because most of the humans in right now, they are just focus on their own life, and they are being so good that they cannot think that about the animals, about the nature. So I think the humans big responsibility are we have to take care of the world first.
Yeah, yeah,
Agree.
absolutely.
So guys, do you all agree if we must say that this poem has successfully delivered the message it wants to deliver? So how do you guys think about it?
I think it is totally fully deliver what the writer want to express in the poems already. Like you can see he says about it creatively im, what imagine, like what if the iceberg or the glaciers melt, and then what will happen. And then within the poems also he also include the causes of the melting of iceberg. And then he also talk about the effects and what we should do, the solutions. It already include all of this. So I think it's very good bonus.
Anyone want to share your opinions regarding it?
I think this poem is clear, very, very clear in delivering its message, and also how the poet used the metaphors in a creative way, like every tourist in the new Arctic, how they use the metaphors. It is very clear in all of the stanzas.
Yes. So anyone else? Is there anyone of you that uh that doesn't agree with the poems being successful in delivering its message? So we can
No.
all say that we are all agree that this
Yeah.
poem has successfully delivered its message. Yes. I think the use of words are kind of obvious, pointing to global warming.
Yeah, quite obvious. And I just very amazed of how the writer described the things, the matters. It's so creative. The phrases he used are so creative.
So anyone else want to share thoughts? If there is no one, I think we have
I think Marvin
accomplished.
something to say.
Yes?
Marvin has something to say.
Oh, Marvin has something to say. Okay.
It's a fascinating poem for me, because everyone need to nowadays people are become arrogant and preoccupied with a lot of stuff. They are not aware that our our global warming and climate change has put a great impact on their daily activities. They need to figure out what are the best ways to resolve all these problems. Like for example, the leaders of the country must have a climate change summit to bring out the future the future policies and controls to manage all the human wastes and resources in proper way, so that not many pollutants will be released out from human activities that continue pollute our environment. Yes, that's my opinion.
Can I say something?
Yes. Loh?
Okay, I think this poem is quite good, but some of the stanza, I think the poet is trying to say something more like hidden meanings that I don't understand. So maybe I think the poet can make the poem much more understandable by adding some more understanding words inside, because this poem is need to share to others to understand the awareness about the global warming. So I think maybe we can try to modify it to make it like a much more clear views for others to understand this poem, because I myself have some misunderstanding about some of the stanzas. So I think overall the poem is okay lah.
Okay. So, Pavita, anything you want to share?
Actually, the poem is quite good. Okay, it's about the global warming and the glacier. I think we have to appreciate the poet who wrote the poem, because that he tried to deliver a good message to our. I think so.
Okay. So now that we have heard every of our opinions regarding this poem, I think we can say that we have very much accomplished the purpose of our discussion for tonight. So I think that's all for today. We can end our discussion here.
Right.
So thank you everyone.